Example 2, it's a follow-on from example 1. The following information relates to AA traders for June 2025. Required 2.1. Compare the bank statement for June with the bank reconciliation statement on 31 May 2025 and monitor whether outstanding items were recorded and errors were corrected by the bank. 2.2. Do additional entries in the cash journals of transactions that appear on the bank statement but not yet in the cash journals. Start the cash journals with the provisional column totals in the answer sheet. 2.3. Prepare the bank account on 30 June and determine the balance. And 2.4. Prepare the bank recon statement for June 2025. Information. Number 1, bank reconciliation statement on 31 May. So I'm giving you the bank reconciliation statement for the end of May. And then number 2, I'm giving you the bank statement obtained on 30 June. So step 1 is we're going to take our bank reconciliation statement on 31 May. We're going to take our bank statement of 30 June. And we're going to take our 2 cash journals and tick off what has now been entered, because we only want to compile entries that have been skipped or omitted, that is not in. So if you go to your bank reconciliation statement of last month, do you see we had an outstanding deposit of 28,000? Okay, so take a highlighter. I'm using blue. This amount of 28,000. Mistake has now been corrected. Cash deposits 2 of the 6, so it's the 2nd of June, 28,000. So now we can tick it. It was outstanding last month, but it is in our bank statement this month, so it has been corrected. Let's go look at our next credit. We had a credit incorrect deposit of 50,400 on our bank reconciliation statement for 31 May. If we now go to our bank statement obtained on 30 June, do you see that that 50,400 is now in? So go highlight it. Let's do the same with our debits. We have an 800 debit as EFT number 28. Do you see that EFT number 28 is now in your bank statement for 30 June? So tick it off. And then we also had an EFT number 29 for 4,400, and that is also now on our bank statement for June, 4,400. Now we have compared our bank reconciliation statement of last month to our bank statement of this month. But we also need to go and compare our journals. So if you go to your cash receipts journals, it said before obtaining the bank statement. But now we have obtained our bank statement, so let's go and compare. Do you see that on the 6th, there's sales to the value of 26,000 Rand? Let's see if we find that sales in our bank. Yes, we do. Do you see that there's a cash deposit on the 6th for 26,000? So we can tick it. That is on our bank statement, so there's no error. Then the next sale is on the 12th, 33,000. Let's see if that appears in our bank statement. Yes, it does. 33,000, so tick it off. Then let's go read our next transaction. Then we have an account of 16,000 for rental income. But do you see that on our bank statement it is 1,600? So do you see that that does not coincide? So use a different color. I'm going to use red. So this 16,000 and this 1,600 does not correspond. So I'm making that a different color, and then you will quickly see, if you just want to jump through it, you'll see that we're going to get more information regarding that at number 4.3. So just go use the same color. So this entry of 4.3, we're getting the information from our CRJ as well as our bank statement, and we're going to check now when we read our additional information whether we have to change the bank recon statement or the CRJ. But that's all we're doing for now. We're just ticking off what is similar and what are the errors. So then if we go back to our CRJ, do you see there's another entry of 24,000? on the 24th. If you go to your bank statement on the 24th, that entry is included. So you can just tick that off. And then the last entry on our CRJ that we must go and compare is an entry on the 30th. There's sales of 18,000. Do you see any sales of 18,000 on your bank statement? No, I don't. So now again, you can use a different color. I'm going to use yellow. So you're going to circle that 18,000 in yellow. And that 18,000 has to be recorded somewhere. So obviously, if it's not on our bank statement yet, but we've already recorded it in our cash receipts journal, we will have to put it in our new bank reconciliation statement. So it will be an outstanding deposit in our bank reconciliation statement. So just keep that in mind. That's why I'm highlighting it in yellow. So now we've basically taken all our cash receipts transactions, we've compared it to our bank statement given to us, and the only two entries that did not coincide was the rent income of 16,000 and this outstanding sales of 18,000. Now let's go to our CPJ. If we go to our cash payments journal, let's quickly compare what is similar. I had an EFT number 30 of 3,000. Yes, it is now on my bank statement. But do you see that it's represented as an error on my bank statement because it's on the credit column and not on the debit column? So we are going to have to fix that error. Okay, so just make a note of it. Yes, it is ticked, but it's on the wrong side, so we have to go fix the error. So just get a color. I'm going to take red and just go highlight number 4, that we have to go fix that error still. They made an error. Then the next one was a purchase on the 11th for 220,000. It's EFT 31. I see that that is on my bank statement, so I can tick that off, and it is on the debit side, so that was correct. Then the next transaction is EFT 132 for 26,000. Yes, I do see EFT 132 for 26,000, so you can tick that off. Then the next entry is an entry on the 14th. It's EFT 33 for 17,000. Is that on my bank statement? Yes, it is. And it is on the debit side, so no error took place, so that's good. Then on the 27th, an EFT of 800. Do you see that on your bank statement? No, I don't, so take yellow. This has not been recorded, so highlight EFT 134. And do you see EFT 135 on your bank statement for 24,400? No, I don't. So highlight that. That must now also be fixed. So how are we going to fix that? We are going to post it to our bank reconciliation statement under outstanding EFTs debited. Number 134 and number 135. So I'm just highlighting that in yellow to remind you that those two entries have not been recorded, so we need to put them into our bank reconciliation statement. Now that we've compared our two journals with our bank statement and we've compared our bank reconciliation statement of last month to our bank statement of this month, we can now go and look at our additional information and complete those entries onto our answer sheet so that we can get our final bank reconciliation statement completed. So now if we go to our answer sheet, you will see that our totals have already been completed for the CRJ as well as the CPJ. And then if you want to, for your bank account, you can quickly go fill in your bank balance on the debit side, which is 143,200 Rand. I got that from my previous month's bank reconciliation statement, 143,200 Rand. It's under additional information number 1. Let's compare our bank reconciliation statement on 31 May to our bank statement on 30 June. So if you go to your question paper on example 2, you have an extract of your bank reconciliation statement and you have an extract of your bank statement. So, do you see that the credit outstanding deposit of 28,000 on your bank statement does now appear on your bank statement obtained from 30 June? So you can tick that off, cross it out. Then also on the credit column of your bank reconciliation statement on 31 May, you had a credit incorrect deposit of 50,400. Do you see, if you go to your bank statement obtained, that it is now in your bank statement 50,400? So tick that off. Let's go do the same with our outstanding EFTs. Do you now see that number 28 and 29 that was outstanding on our bank reconciliation statement for May does now appear on our bank statement 800 and 4,400 on the debit columns. Let's go do the same with our cash receipts journal. Let's see which entries are on our bank statement and which not. If you go to the 6 and the 12, the 26,000 and the 33,000, they are both on your bank statement. So tick them off. The 16,000 is additional information 4.3. We will get to that. Then if you go to your cash receipts journal, the 24,000 entry on the 24th also appears on your bank statement, so you can tick that off, that it's the same. And then the only entry that is then not on your bank statement is 18,000. So go circle that. That will be our outstanding deposit that we will have to put in our bank reconciliation statement for this month. So just make a circle around the 18,000 in your cash receipts journal under additional information number 3. Then if you go to your cash payments journal, on your question paper, you will see that there's a few extracts. So let's see which cash payments journal entries are now on your bank statement that you obtained on 30 June. You will see that the 3,000 from P&A is now recorded, so you can tick that off. The 220,000 is recorded, so you can tick that off on the 11th. The 26,000 on the 12th is on your bank statement, so you can tick that off, as well as the 17,000. Make a circle at the 800 and the 24,400 entries, which is EFT 34 and 35. That will be additional information at the bottom, and we will see where we need to record that. So now, before you read the additional information, your first steps is first to compare the extracts given to you. So you compare your bank reconciliation statement to your bank statement. Then you compare your extracted cash receipts journal transactions to your bank statement. Tick off, that's the same. And the same with your cash payments journal. Compare your cash payments journal to your bank statement. Tick off, that's the same. So that you know when you go to your additional information, which is 5 entries, it's only those things that will either have to be fixed in my CRJ, my CPJ, or my new bank reconciliation statement for this month, which is 30 June. If you turn to your answer sheet, you've been given a cash receipts journal, a cash payments journal, your bank ledger account, and your bank reconciliation statement on 30 June 2025. So as I read each additional information from 4.1 to 4.5, we will see which part of our answer sheet it will go to. 4.1 says, EFT 30 on 4 June appears on the wrong side of the bank statement. Remember now, in yellow, we made a note of it, where we said, although the 3,000 Rand was on the bank statement, it was on the credit side of the bank statement, and it must be on the debit side of the bank statement. So in other words, the error did not take place in the journals. The error is in the bank statement. So we have to go to our bank recon statement to fix it. So before we do that, let's just quickly write out our format for our bank recon statement. That is just a standard format that you can study. You're always going to start with your debit balance according to bank statement. Then you will credit any outstanding deposits. You will debit any outstanding EFTs. So normally leave about 2 lines, 2 or 3 lines open for that. Then we're going to debit any wrong credits and credit any wrong debits. So we're going to debit anything that was wrongly credited. In this case, we also had a debit order that was wrongly debited. And we also had a credit faulty deposit. And then we have our balance according to, our credit balance according to bank account at the end. So now that we've completed the written work for our bank reconciliation statement, let's go into transaction 4.1. So 4,000 Rand was on the wrong side of the bank statement. No, not 4,000 Rand, 3,000 Rand on the 4th of June. So you are going to say debit EFT 30, wrongly credited. So 3,000 is fixing the error, and then you're going to add another 3,000 as it was not entered. So your total is 6,000. So just to show you the calculation, 3,000 plus 3,000 gives me 6,000 in the debit column. So the first 3,000 is fixing the error, and the other 3,000 is the amount that it should have been, 3,000. So it's 6,000. Debit EFT 30, wrongly credited. Then we can refer to number 4.2. The deposit on the 10th of June from G. Singh is relating to a building that he is renting from us. So G. Singh is our tenant. We receive rental income from our tenant, and an income goes to our cash receipts journal. So this income was not recorded yet in our cash receipts journal. So we are going to say our document is our bank statement. Our details is G. Singh. 12,000 Rand in the bank column and 12,000 Rand in the sundry accounts column, details being rent income. 4.3, the cash deposit on 17 June was recorded correctly in the cash receipts journal, so there was no error in my cash receipts journal, but incorrectly recorded as 1,600 Rand on the bank statement. So remember now in yellow we highlighted the 1,600 and the 16,000. So we accidentally recorded 1,600 instead of 16,000. So we now need to go fix that error. So we have to credit our faulty deposit because the error only took place in the bank statement. We are going to fix it in our bank recon statement only. So credit faulty deposit in brackets, you're going to say 16,000 minus 1,600 to give you an answer of 14,400. So let me just show you the calculation in brackets. It's 16,000 minus 1,600 to give you a credit of 14,400. In the credit column, 14,400. Then number 4.4. The debit order on 25 June to TS Municipality is with regard to water and electricity. So we did not record our water and electricity in our cash payments journal. So our details is bank statement for document. Details is TS Municipality. it is 9,400 Rand in bank and 9,400 Rand in my sundries, and my details will be water and electricity. Then 4.5. The debit order on 27 June to Outsurance is with regard to the insurance of the entity. It was correctly credited by the bank on the bank statement. Sorry, it was incorrectly credited by the bank on the bank statement. So first of all, we never included it in our CPJ. So it's bank statement. Outsurance is the details. It's 3,300 Rand in my bank, 3,300 in my sundries, and my details will be insurance. And then also, because an error took place on my bank statement, I will have to debit the wrongly credited debit order. So again, it's a double entry. You're going to say debit order wrongly credited, 3,300 plus 3,300 gives you 6,600 in the debit column. Okay, so now we've completed all the additional information on number 4, but we are still not done. If you go back to your bank statement given to you, we still need to complete our opening balance of our bank statement, and you will see that our opening balance is given to us as one. Let's just see, where's the balance? Okay, sorry. You go to the bottom of your bank statement. We have a balance of 33,000, but do you see it is in brackets? So that means it is a negative balance. So now we have a debit balance according to bank statement, 33,000. So on the debit side, you are going to put 33,000. We can also enter our opening bank balance in our bank account. We will get that from our bank reconciliation statement on 31 May. Debit balance according to bank account 143,200. So let's go put that opening balance in so long. 143,200. Now we're going to go back to our bank statement, and you will see that the last entries that we still need to record is bank charges. If you add your EFT costs of 370, plus your internet bank fees of 220, plus your cash handling fees of 1560, and your debit order costs of 200. The total of all of those costs are known as bank charges, and that is 2350. So we still need to enter bank charges into our cash payments journal. So again, it is bank statement. Our bank is ABSA. Our details is bank charges. And the total is 2350 in bank as well as sundries. You basically just added up all those last charges on the 30th on your bank statement. It's EFT costs, internet bank fees, cash handling fees, and debit order fees. And that gives you a total of 2350. Then do you see we also have an interest of 4350. Now this interest in this case is not like the previous exercise. It is now in the debit column. So if we have interest on the debit column, it means our bank account went into overdraft and the bank now charged us interest. So this is interest on overdraft, which is an expense. So this interest will go to your cash payments journal. So it came from your bank statement. it will be ABSA as details. Interest on overdraft goes to your sundry accounts, and the amount is 4350 in sundries as well as bank. Now we've entered all our transactions that goes to our cash receipts journal and our cash payments journal, so we can now add up these totals. If we add up our total bank account for our CRJ journal, we get 129,000. Our revenue stayed 101,000. Our cost of sales stayed 50,500. And our sundry accounts is now 28,000. Now that we've got our bank total of 129,000, we can post that total to the debit side of our bank account, because our CRJ goes to the debit side of our ledger account, and that is 129,000. Now let's go total up our cash payments journal. If we add up our bank account for our cash payments journal, we get 310,600 Rand. Our inventory stayed 220,000. Our discount received stayed 2,100. Our creditors control remained at 57,500. And our sundry accounts totaled to 40,200. Now we can take our total of our bank CPJ and we can go transfer that to our bank account on the credit side, and that was 310,600 Rand. Now we can go back to our bank account and just complete that. This time, our credit side is higher than our debit side. So if we add up our credit side, we get 310,600. We know that our debit side must also equal to 310,600. So we have a shortfall on the debit side of 38,400 Rand. That is our balance carried down. So on the 1st of July, next month, we now have a credit balance according to bank statement, as we are now in overdraft of 38,400. So that is the amount that we are now going to transfer to our bank reconciliation statement. We're going to say credit balance according to bank account, and in the credit column we are going to put 38,400 Rand. The last step now is to complete our bank reconciliation statement. The only two things we have not entered yet was our outstanding deposits and our outstanding EFTs. But we've already made note of that, and we highlighted that in yellow when we double-checked our entries and did our recon. We realized that we had an outstanding deposit of 18,000 on the 30th. So under credit outstanding deposit, we are going to record 18,000. Then if we go to our outstanding EFTs, we highlighted them. It was number 34 and 35 that we saw on our cash payments journal, but it was not on our bank statement obtained on 30 June. So debit outstanding EFTs is number 34 and number 35. Number 34 for 800 and number 35 for 2,400. Now we have entered all the transactions. Now we're going to add up our debit column and our credit column to see if they equal to the same amount. If it does, then our bank reconciliation statement is then reconciling with our bank account in our general ledger. My debit column adds up to 70,800. My credit column also adds up to 70,800. We have now concluded example 2.